Okay, yeah, so we can, um, we'll continue to let people roll in, but I'll get us started since we do have the recorder going and folks note takers. Hi, Jennifer. I see people logging in. So good to see faces. And I see another person logging in. So we'll get started in just 1 second here. All right, got the recording going. Hey, Ed, so good to see you.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and get us started. Just wanted to say hi. So good to see everybody. Thanks so much for the founders that pointed out it was a couple of missing on the calendars. So sorry about that. And I really appreciate you guys pointing that out to get all the founders in who can join. I will send out this whole recording afterwards. So those founders who couldn't join because I didn't send over the link in time, they'll be able to watch the whole thing as well. But good to see everybody. I want to start with just saying, usually, as you all are probably aware, the annual general meetings are what VC firms all around do, usually reserved for their investors. And we wanted to have a final one with the founder and cohort alumni of the year and just talk about some of the things that we have implemented from what you all shared, your request, as well as talk about some of the upcoming things that we hope will be useful to each of you. So as I mentioned, being recorded, we'll share it out. We'll first start by sharing in the chat, if we haven't already, a guide for our founders, as well as feel free. I see Toby put her LinkedIn in the chat. Please feel free to put your LinkedIn's or any way in the chat or in our Slack community, because we are a community. You guys are all part of the Chloe community, and our goal with these are not just to inform you all of what's going on from a Chloe Capital side, but also to make sure that you guys are meeting each other and being collaborative and as helpful as possible as founders on your journey, because we're all in this together. So with that, I'll talk about first how to communicate with us. So you guys already are aware pretty much how to communicate with us, but just as a reminder, if you're a portfolio company and you need to reach out to us, and it can be directed to anyone on the team, you'll just email portfolio@chloecapital.com. If you are a part of a cohort or alum, you want to reach out to anyone on the team, you can email cohort@chloecapital.com. So just, save those and make sure you always keep that in mind for when you need to reach out to us for anything outside of just doing your regular, updates and quarterly reports. For today's agenda, it's the actual informative part shouldn't be that long, and then we'll open it up. But with that, I always love to have engagement and collaborative meetings. So that's why this is a Zoom meeting versus a Zoom webinar. So for the agenda, we'll go over some of the things that you guys requested and some of the past meetings and what we've done to address those. We'll talk about upcoming audit for Chloe Capital that a lot of you all will be possibly involved in or have to send over something. We will talk about the quarterly reports and the annual reports for the cohort alum. We'll talk about some growth kit updates, the community mentors, and then some upcoming webinars that we have for you all. So with that, I will just actually kick it off and get right into it. And just checking the chat that nope, everything looks good. No questions in there so far. So first and foremost, let's go over some of your founder requests. So one of the last times we connected, we had a request from one of the founders that said, hey, we got requests from the auditors, but we didn't know that they were a part of the Chloe team, and we ignored them, or we didn't know what to do. And so one of the first things I wanted to let you guys know is every year we have to do an audit, and that starts January 1st. And so if you're a part of the portfolio, you may get an email that says, hey, can you just confirm that your company is still alive or that Chloe Capital owns this many shares or something like that. Very, very quick request. But I wanted to give you guys a heads up about who those individuals were. So Weaver is the name of the company that does the audit. And we'll add into the chat just like their domain names so that you guys can either whitelist them in, I think it's a new word for whitelist, right? Somebody gonna have to tell me what that is. But anyway, you can whitelist those names into your and allow list. Oh, thank you, Anne. Okay, so you can, how do people use it? Do they say you can allow list those names into your
Mark is safe is another one.
well, what's the other one?
Mark Sender is safe.
Mark Cinder is safe. Okay, thank you, Sophie. Thanks, guys. So anyway, Christina put in the chat. These are all of the domain names that you can mark as safe, that you may get an email from, including obviously, at chloecapital.com. And we will also send out at the beginning of the year an email, just like another heads up, like, hey, don't forget, we'll be starting our audit, is kicking off. And again, here are the individuals you might hear from, or the companies you might hear from. So that's one of the things that we received a request from you guys last year. Another request came in from well, not last year, but over the past year, is we are raising our Series A. Is there engagement we can have with Chloe to help? Absolutely. So I want to remind everybody on this call, every Chloe founder, we are here to help you. So one of the ways that we do is we will make introductions to investors via Bridge. So you all have links to Bridge. Also in the guide that Christina shared, it has the link to Bridge. On Bridge, we do have the list where you can kind of just go through and look at some of the different investors that we're connected to. And if you see an investor who is like, you're like, oh yeah, this is an investor who invests in healthcare, or this is an AI investor that I want to connect with, you can do one or two things. You can either request like through Bridge to connect to them, or you can reach out to us at the email addresses that we provided and say, hey, can you do an introduction to this investor for me for my round? And we would say, absolutely. And we will go on Bridge and we would do an introduction to that investor via Bridge. One of the reasons why we continue to use Bridge is because once we do the introduction, Bridge, the platform itself, it will continue to actually do the follow-up. So if the person or the investor that we're introducing you to, if they do not respond immediately, Bridge will send them another email like, hey, don't forget, we introduced you to this person. So it takes us being a blocker out of those introductions. So that's one thing that we do for helping as much as we can with rounds. The second thing is we do reference calls, so don't forget that. So as you're coming to the due diligence phase of some of these investors and they want a reference call or request a reference call, please let us know. We obviously will give you everybody shiny reference calls because like we all need this together, right? So remember us for reference calls. The third thing is take advantage of our community mentors list. So everyone has heard me talk about our community mentors. That list has grown tremendously since some of you have become a part of the Chloe family. And so not only are there industry experts on there who want to provide help, there are also investors who are on that list or like family offices. And so the list, we've made it where you can look at it and they'll go through and they'll show like, hey, founders can reach out to me and I can help in these areas like fundraising or investor introductions. Like they literally have it right there. So please do, when you're doing a raise or starting your next round, which I know I've seen some of you guys are coming up on that, please do look at our community mentors list and reach out there. They want to help. They are like emailing me like, hey, Michael, any of those founders want me to help them? And I'm like, yeah, they need to help. Like they want to help. And so, yeah, so those are some of the ways that we can help outside of once we start to raise and get more money into our next funds, then we'll be able to start looking at, founders again for re-ups or investments. But in the meantime, in between time, while we still ain't got no money, that's how we will try to help you guys as best as possible. Another request that came in the past was, can we have a portal that shows what we have completed in terms of what updates we have submitted? So they said we have several funds that we need to submit quarterly reports to, and sometimes we need to check if we've already done Chloe's quarterly report. So we have a solution for that. So we have an MVP around how you can check if you've already submitted your quarterly report to Chloe Capital. And what I'm going to do is, let me see. Oh, I see Amelia on the call. I'm actually going to turn it over to Amelia because she's our tech lead, and she built this out for you, and she'll be able to explain how you guys can not only see if you've submitted your quarterly report, but how you can actually share it with other investors so you don't have to keep doing this like a whole bunch of times every quarter. So I'll turn it over to Amelia to share some updates about that.
Thanks so much, my Nico. Hi, everybody. I know I've met many of you, but just as a reminder, I'm Amelia and I'm an operating partner here at Chloe. And like my Nico said, I manage Chloe's back end on the tech side. So if you have further feature requests, I would love to hear them. So Christina will put a quarterly updates form link in the chat, which I know you are all very familiar with. This is our quarterly financial updates form for you to fill out. And now the feature upgrade is such that when you submit the form, you'll receive a thank you email after you submit. And inside that thank you email, there is a secure link which has all of your past quarterly form submissions. It has enhanced security such that only people from your company's domain can access the link. You own your data, so you are welcome to download the data if you would like to and forward it along to investors or anybody else you need. So again, thank you so much for multiple of you who have requested this feature. And we're very happy to provide other features that you request. And also, just as a reminder, every portfolio company at Chloe Capital is assigned to a Chloe Capital operator, such as myself or other teammates on the team. And we are your liaison to the whole team. And we are CC'd on all communications. So if you look, now we have a portfolio company quarterly financial reminder set of emails that go out at every quarter. The person that's CC'd there is your liaison to the team. Feel free to reach out to them anytime for anything you need. That being said, you're also welcome to email us individually or at portfolio@chloecapital.com or cohort@chloecapital.com, as we mentioned earlier in the call. So, and our individual emails are our first names at chloecapital.com. So Amelia@chloecapital.com. Feel free to ping me anytime. Back to you, my Nico.
Thanks, Amelia. Awesome. I did see a question in the chat that I can address, but were there any questions about the kind of our new MVP feature of like, hey, you can see your quarterly reports and you can also download it so that you can share it with other investors that you, may want to share updates with? If no questions there, I will move on to talk about how this is applicable as well to our cohort founders. So cohort founders, as you guys are aware, you don't have to do quarterly reports. However, what we do have is annual reports. And so we want to keep up to date on what you guys are doing. So we have annual update form. Thank you so much, Christina, for throwing that in the chat. That we tend to send out during the summertime. So, it'll be another kind of half a year before we send it out again. I want to show you guys what this entire journey looks like and why we are requesting this information from you. So let me share my screen because there's several reasons why, several things that happen. Okay, so we have I believe everybody can see my screen. We have several different views that we share with our community about you all. And so we have a view of the Chloe Capital portfolio companies that also include a link to your bridge profiles. So when someone wants to connect with you, they can click this link and then it will tell us like, hey, my Nico, or hey, someone at Chloe, please connect me to this founder, right? So we have a view for our portfolio companies. We also have a similar view for our accelerator alum, right? And so it'll, again, we have your links and it's like, hey, I want to talk to this person. So please connect me with, with this person. All right. So how this is populated is based on your quarterly reports. So outside of these particular views, we have another view that has greater detail about your companies. Those views are more private. Those are the views that are shared with investors who are looking to invest, all right? And so basically, here are some things that usually happens. I will get a request from a co-investor, so like another VC firm, and they'll say, hey, I have X amount of money to deploy, or I'm looking for 3 more deals to, bring on this year or by whatever Q1. And they'll say, my Nico, do you have founders who are actively raising right now? And I will say, absolutely. And so what I will do is I will send them either like this view or not this view, but we have another view that's for those type of investors. And this populates from your last quarterly report. So if you sent in a quarterly report, say Q1, and you weren't raising a Q1, but it's now, Q4 and you are raising, this will still say, no, you're not raising. So that investor will look at it and go, okay, this company, Salisa, she looks great. She's raising. That's awesome. But Designer Inc. also looks great, but they're not raising. And so that's one of the reasons why the quarterly reports are so important, because it helps populate these views that we use when we are talking to co-investors about trying to invest in you guys. Or not just investment, but looking for like what your particular asks are. Like if you're like, hey, I need introductions to customers that for X, Y, and Z. All right. Another reason why the quarterly reports and your annual reports are so important, not just to populate these views, but for you, it's to get these updates sent over to investors. For us, we actually go through on the back end, right? So we look at the actual database and we go through each of the things. And as you guys know, it asks like, hey, what's going on? What do you need help with? What are challenges? And we look at those challenges. And based on those challenges, we go, all right, we need to make introductions to Martha for X, Y, and Z that she asked for. Or it looks like across the board, people are asking help with healthcare insurance providers or something. And so we will say, okay, let's look at for 2026, bringing in some healthcare or healthcare insurance providers to come in and do a workshop or something, right? So these are other ways that we use your quarterly reports or your annual surveys to understand what it is that you guys need. The third way, which is also very, very important, hugely important, is for our legal and our LPs. As I mentioned, we are required to not just do audits, but we're required to every single quarter do valuations and basically come up with what's the valuation of your company as it pertains to our investment. And in order for us to remain in compliance, we have to do that. And one of the ways we do it is based on the quarterly reports that you send. Especially another important thing to remember is how much runway you got, how many months of runway you have left. And so we go into the quarterly reports every quarter, And with our accounting teams, we look at, the numbers to help determine our valuations. And if we don't have the quarterly reports, then that's when you also see we're reaching out like, hey, can we get a call? Can we get a call? So a little secret, a little trick. I know you guys love talking to us so much, but if you don't, another way that you can kind of get out of your calls for the quarter with your, direct person from Chloe is submit your quarterly reports. Then we won't hound you as much for a call. You can say, hey, I submitted my quarterly report, my Nico, but I don't have the time for a call this quarter. And we'll say, okay, we understand. And that's that, okay? I'm gonna stop there. Any questions? Because I know I said a lot, and that's a very, very important part for us. Wait, I can't see anybody. Any questions? Let me try to look at gallery view to see if anybody has any questions. If not, I'm gonna keep going. I see the questions were being, thank you, Elisa, for responding to Jennifer. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so if no more questions, I will keep going. All right, so those are the requests, some of the requests that we've gotten. Again, Amelia mentioned, like any other future requests, anything like that, please let us know. We'll put it on our roadmap to, get implemented. We want to try to make things as easy for you guys as possible because we recognize how busy you are. And then those are the quarterly reports and those are the annual surveys that we request of you all. Okay, next thing I'm going to talk about is the growth kit and some new additions. So everybody is familiar with our growth kit. I just wanted to mention that we have some updated offers in there. And so actually we'll throw it in the chat because I just remembered some folks that are on the call came into the Chloe family before we had a growth kit. But we have some new offers that are on there. So please, continue to look at the growth kit. In addition, one of the latest ones is we struck up a partnership with Microsoft for Startups to offer some credits. So we have Microsoft for Startups that is not in the growth kit. It's just special for you guys. So anybody that goes to our website and sees it, they won't be able to see it. It's just like Chloe fam. So Christina just put a link to our Slack channel where I put the offer into a Slack message. So you guys can go ahead and look at that. And that actually rolls nicely into some of the other things that's going on, including some upcoming webinars. So tomorrow, we are having a webinar with Microsoft where they are going to be doing a demo of how anybody, so it could be for you guys as founders, or if you want to send like an engineer over, if you want to send a CTO or something like that over, they're doing a webinar on how to basically build an AI tool that they're going to tailor it so that you can help if you need to do investor sourcing, or if you need to just do efficiency on, how you're going to manage, like trying to get investors or anything like that. And so apparently, I'm a little skeptical, but we'll see. Apparently, they have a solution where you can build out in like less than 60 minutes, AI powered, like almost co-founder type of thing to do all of these tasks for you. So let's see what they show us tomorrow. In the meantime, in between time, everyone does have access to like these free credits that, you can absolutely use. In addition to that webinar that's tomorrow, in December, we're going to have 2 webinars about tax strategies. So this stemmed from several people request about understanding what are the tax implications from the One Big Beautiful Bill on us. So we have partnered with April, a large CPA firm. They're going to come in next month. They are going to do 2 sessions. The first session is going to be about like what you need to be doing for your business right now, your startup, for taxes for 2026 taxes. There are some things that are in the One Big Beautiful Bill that you can do now to kind of backtrack for like to save on taxes for your startup. So they're going to come in and present, because I don't know what these are. And then the second session is going to be about as an individual. So as we all know, there are a lot of things also that were put in the One Big Beautiful Bill that are going to affect us all as individuals. And so it's going to be focused on you as an individual, as a business owner. So Christina had popped those links into the chat. So if you haven't registered for those, please do register for those webinars that are coming up. And yeah, again, as I mentioned, they'll come in, they'll present the webinars, they're the experts. I'll be listening closely because I need to know all the tax like secrets and everything, the strategies. But yeah, you guys are welcome to join, and feel free to, again, share them with other folks that's in your company or community or whatever. Like, we're not gatekeeping over here. Like, we've obviously built these things for you guys, but it's applicable to everybody. So feel free to share if you want. Any questions about webinars that are coming up, Growth Kit, or anything like that? If there are not any questions, then we're going to move into the second part of this meeting, which is what we're kind of calling like a needs and leads discussion. So basically, we would like to know several things. One, what do you need support with? What do you feel like, whatever you feel comfortable sharing that you need support with from us that we can help you? What do you need support with that other founders on the call might be able to help you with? And then, of course, feel free to offer support and help to any founders. So any asks or anything, that's what we're going to talk about for the next couple of minutes. And then if we run out of that, then, we'll give you guys some time back in your day, but we've allocated several minutes for folks to share what their needs are. We're going to be writing everything down so we can help as much possible. And whoever wants to kick it off, Jennifer, would you like to kick it off?
How did I know you were coming to me?
Go ahead.
Amazing. Well, so nice to be here. My name is Jennifer Brisman. I am the founder and CEO of VOW. VOW is a company that is committed to live events and the experience economy. In short, we're giving live events a brain. We are giving event professionals and all of their stakeholders superpowers at scale. And we're giving guests, attendees, fans, players, any butt in any seat, anywhere, magic in the palm of their hands. It's a long journey that I've been on. I'm a 20-year event professional. I love the smell of the sweat, the cheer of the audience, the roar of the crowd, the handshakes, the heartstrings, and the hugs. Chloe has been a big believer in us. They were one of the first to jump on board and invest in us when we were really just post PMF, and do so, just believing in founder and vision and team. So where are we today? We did a pre-seed round. That was what Chloe came into during the pandemic. We just did a seed round after Techstar Sports. We set out to raise 2.5. We've actually raised about 275. We oversubscribed our round. Woo woo. As of today, thank you. How Women Invest, which is probably meaningful to you guys, came on today with a $250,000 check, and we have 2 other investors in the hopper. We've decided to grow to 3.25 since the space is exploding. So we've technically another $500,000 if the right party comes in before the end of the year. But otherwise, we'll close out the year with 275. The the round was led by KB Partners, investor out of Chicago, in partnership with Capitalize VC, an all minority women's fund out of Chicago as well. And the entire cap table was sports, media, entertainment investors. So we're pretty proud of that. And just really happy to be part of the Chloe portfolio. So if anybody knows anybody that's writing checks now, ideally 100 or 200,000 to as much as $500,000, and would be great for this journey. Like I said, we're actively closing out what we have on the table, and just getting back to building the company. So thank you.
Congrats. That's awesome. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Jennifer. And you mentioned two companies. So How Women Invest, and then also Capitalize VC. And very interesting that they're local here in Chicago with me. And I met with them recently. And if I recall, they are another company that is looking to bring in they're another company I think that's looking to do, I think, one or two more. So I'm going to find their website, and here I'm going to pop this in the chat. If for folks that are also raising or about to start a round, take a look at them and see if, like, if they would make a good investor for you all. And then I can do an intro as well. And I'll remove my spotlight. Thank you, Toby. And then the other one you mentioned was How Women Invest. Do you know if they have a open like application on their website type of thing?
I don't.
Okay.
I've got a call coming up actually with How Women Invest. I know they have a couple different groups. So they have like they have sort of an angel group of sorts where they basically have meetings with different women and they kind of educate more women leaders about investors. In fact, it's a great network, for folks to join once many of you guys go through that full founder to funder journey. And you start, making your investment in Chloe Capital and everything. And then you also want to join other networks. How Women Invest is a great one. And that I've gone to some of their events and they bring together basically groups of women who want to get into angel investing, things like that. So that's one way they operate, is sort of as more of a kind of informal angel group and network, and they have events and things and sort of chapters around the country. And then the other way they invest, I believe, is through some kind of a funding vehicle that they have and that they've established. And I met with a while back with one of the managers of the fund side, and I am meeting with the founder of all of How Women Invest. I have a meeting on the calendar coming up soon, so I'll find out more at that time and stuff. But if anyone needs an intro to their network or needs to find out how to get connected with them, feel free to reach out at either portfolio@chloecapital.com or cohort@chloecapital.com. And as soon as I meet with them, I'll get you connected and stuff as soon as I meet with the founder, who's Julie Castro Abrams.
Awesome. Thank you, Elisa. And then Jennifer, before we move on to anyone else who had a question or ask or lead or anything, you did also mention that, if there's another investor who will be doing could write like 100,000 plus, that you guys will be open to it over, before the end of the year. Which type of investors have you had the most success with?
Yeah, a combination of SaaS and investors who double down on sports, media, and entertainment. Capitalize VC specifically is consumer tech. So, live events are nice. They're an exploding real white space. No one's quite figured it out and gone deep. So I think it's someone that loves to play at the AI application layer. We're actively refactoring a lot of our platform not to be so much AI native, which is not a real thing. It's not a real term, but to be AI forward and AI powered, so event organizers can communicate with their own data. So it's a really unique play. So I think it's powerful for someone who's really interested in the size of the TAM, the size of the space, and then an AI powered platform that's really for this particular space. The space is big enough that you don't need a wide horizontal tool. Yes, Liz. Sorry, is that for me or?
Go ahead, Elizabeth. Oh, I see. Yeah. Go ahead, Elizabeth. You want to share something about what's going on with Help?
Yeah, I would love to. Hi, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Chikoyan. I founded a company called Help, and what we do is we fill clinical gaps through patient communities. So people with chronic and rare diseases, we connect them in this one community. And then as we grew and scale this community, we partner with pharma companies and research companies. We're about to launch a private version, like a members only version of our platform. And we're looking for sponsors or companies that are interested in taking up certain spaces. Like if you want to promote a product to specific patient groups like diabetics or to PCOS patients, I'd love to know if it's of interest to any of you, or if anyone wants or needs to access patient communities. We'd love to connect with you all and be like a co-partner with our launch of this private network.
Okay, so Enter the companies who want to.
And also like on with that, I'm also launching in the Middle East. So in UAE, Qatar, Saudi Arabia. So if anyone has any healthcare connections or like hospital connections, government, university connections in the Middle East, I would love to connect with them. Which is like I'll be there in a few weeks to like launch the network there. But like we've been doing a lot of our work here and then also in the Middle East.
Awesome. And Elizabeth, two quick questions on that, two follows up on that. I do have someone that we're working with in the Middle East right now on some potential partnerships with Chloe Capital, and she is really passionate about the healthcare space and healthcare investing. So I'll definitely see if she'd be open to an intro with you when you're going on your trip. And then second would be what's the best way for people to reach out if they want to get on that platform and promote for some of the other healthcare companies in our portfolio and cohorts, if any of them want to promote their products or services through your networks to patients, what would be the best way for them to reach out to you? Should they just reach out to your email address, or is there like a platform or someplace where they should sign up?
Yeah, I can put my email address and then I'll put my number. And if you guys want to just WhatsApp me and ping me, I'm happy to also WhatsApp, especially if I go overseas. It's just really easy to message me both ways, whatever's easiest for you all.
Awesome. And then I'm just flagging that Tanya has some awesome UAE connections as well. So she put her info in the
Oh,
chat.
amazing. Thank you, Tanya. I so appreciate that.
Yes, that's perfect. Okay, oh, that here. Awesome. And then does anyone else want to share anything that's going on with their companies and let us know? Go ahead, Jennifer. Yeah.
Thank you so much for putting this together. It's lovely to meet everyone and great to see you both, Elise and Monica. Jennifer Kuchel, CEO of EYP Ventures. It stands for Exploring Your Potential. We do workforce readiness, certification, and training for students in schools to make sure that they have clarity, confidence going into the workforce. There is significant new funding coming down through the big, beautiful bill, through Workforce Pell. We are very much aligned with the new policies somehow. Thank God. But we're working with universities to really make sure that they can get access to funding and that the students all have access to really quality training to be successful. We're at the seed level right now. We have the top investor in the education world looking at our Series A, but we're still trying to do a bridge to get there because we have a little more administrative work to do and we want to close a few more contracts before then. They want to write a much bigger check than we need right now. So we are actively raising. We went out with a $2.8 million ask about 2 months ago, but because we have very small capacity and team right now, it's been very hard to manage a very robust process. I am hoping to close about $500,000 by the end of the year, and I have some very, high-profile education industry funders interested in us. But I'm also looking to expand our outreach beyond the education world. People are really like, I don't know. It's been hard to raise in education specifically because there's so much volatility hitting the education world. But we are a SaaS model company. We've generated $2.4 million in revenue on only 650 raised. Our metrics are very strong. Our SaaS model metrics are very strong. And we have a very strong growth opportunity ahead of us right now. So I am open to angels and to family offices. We're looking to do a bridge on a convertible note. So if anyone has any thoughts or ideas, I'd love to also make sure that we're listed as a raising company in the bridge if it's possible to do that. I don't think we've submitted anything formally.
Yeah, I was actually going to flag that question for Nico and Amelia. I did mention, obviously, Jennifer, you can always reach out like mid-year if you have updates, other than the annual survey. You can always reach out to us at cohort@claycapital.com. But I did want to make sure to check with Amelia on this point, if she's on the call still, to just see if it's possible for Jennifer to submit a mid-year update on that annual survey, and if that'll kind of show up and populate on the updates form, or if she can only do it the once a year.
Yeah, I know that that investment is a little unique. So that's a really good use case that we'll go back and look at to see how we can make sure that you're being populated in these lists. So thanks for pointing that out. The other thing I want to share with you is, and I'll pull up the other ones for everyone else, but in Bridge, we have an education list. So education investors list. So click on that to see if you have access to it. But basically these are how many 90 people are on this list. So these are the Chloe Education co-investors.
Okay.
So go through that and see if any of those look like good folks that would fit. And then we can make introductions to you, or you can request introductions. And then there's another list I want to share with everybody while I was thinking about that is the healthcare co-investors. So we have, that list is a little bit larger. So let me share the link in the chat where everybody can save this. These are co-investors who are, say they're healthcare. And then I have one more, I think. Oh, we have climate tech co-investors. It's about 170 folks on that list, so I'll share. And just keep in mind that, people move around in the company's careers and all of that stuff. But the list, we try to keep the list updated as we make more contacts with certain co-investors in these different industries and sectors. We try to make sure our lists are updated. So just save all of these lists. Climate, healthcare. Oh, and we have a software one too. This is probably just general SaaS. So let me copy this list for you guys. I recognize that our recent cohort companies, they, have these lists, but
And the other thing you can always do too is we do try to keep the lists up to date, as my Nico mentioned, as much as possible. Obviously, let us know if you want to flag anybody that's not up to date and that we need to update in our records. And also, you can check our LinkedIn's as well. I know mine in particular, I'm definitely a LinkedIn super user. So I have I don't know, at this point, probably 15 to 20,000, connections on there, most of which are other VCs that could invest in your company. So obviously feel free to look there for connections as well. And then again, just reach out to us at, cohort@chloecapital.com or portfolio@chloecapital.com if there are some folks on there that you need specific intros to.
absolutely. And then anyone else want to share some needs or leads? If not, I can absolutely give you guys 15 minutes back in your day, but I'll keep this on so you guys can copy all that stuff out the chat because we talked about it a lot in the chat. But anything else? I can't see quite everybody. I think I saw oh, go ahead, Toby.
For me, it's kind of similar to everyone else. We've had a lot of traction lately, working with both CVS and Delta Dental of Minnesota, a partner with them, and also eventually, of course, become an investor. And we've opened a new seed round. And we've also been able to generate a decent amount of revenue and funds, essentially on slate to get about 500K by the end of the year, along with having submitted some grants through or with NYU Dental School, some SBIR and NIH grants. So really excited about our progress and all of that. And so yeah, just angels, family offices are ideal. And also looking for board members. So people who have strong healthcare domain expertise, dental expertise, consumer marketplace expertise is important as well. And a strong network to get us to our target patients and dentists. So basically our target patients are in the beauty space, wellness space, fitness space. So being able to get connected to brands And so advisors that would be valuable would have strong networks with companies like that. And also anyone who can get us in front of small business owners who tend to not have dental insurance would be great as well. Thank you. I see that Elise just put Fourth Effect in the chat. I went to their summit recently.
How was? I was thinking about that. Yeah, I was thinking about the Fourth Effect as well, to see if that, I was going to ask Elisa, like, I know they've kind of pivoted a bit, so I don't know if they were still focused on helping board connections, but if so, good to know. And then I think the healthcare list is good for you as well that I shared, Toby, so feel free to go through there. In addition, I want to bring back up the community mentors because I recall there are a couple of healthcare like focus folks on there. So I would definitely encourage you to, reach out to them and see if they to engage with them to help. And then what'd you say, Jennifer? I have a great connect to reach small business owners. One of my dearest students. Oh, nice. Oh, Jennifer, how can folks, is it that like she looks for entrepreneurs to write stories on, or?
Yeah, she actually has a team of people that write the small business columns for many different publications. So if there's something you want me to forward to her or get in touch, I can do that and put you into contact. She's always writing articles about entrepreneurs.
Oh, excellent. Absolutely.
So
Yeah. That's
I'll put my email here. If you have anything you want me to forward to her, I can make an intro.
okay, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, that's actually another one of the things, like I go through some of like the quarterly reports or the annual surveys, and like there's a section on there that says like it asks for public news. And so we look at those and we're like, oh yeah, this is great public news. So when I'm actually doing that now, I'll keep in mind that like you have person like a connection, a team that would write on some of these amazing updates that people submit. Okay. Awesome. Let me put that in my notes. Oh, here it is. I'm like, I lost my notes. Okay, got it. All right. Excellent. And if there's nothing else, I'll put the screen back up so you guys can have the email addresses again. Don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you so much for joining. And if I don't talk to, some of you guys, have as amazing as possible holidays and the rest of the year, and be careful traveling and all the things. But I appreciate you guys so much, and we'll be around to help as much as we can.
Thank you very much, Maniko. It's Lisa.
Oh, hey,
Hi, how are you doing? Hi, Elisa.
Hi, folks. Hi, Lisa.
Hi. I just wanted to let you know we are submitting for Microsoft. So if you have a person you wanted to introduce us to there, that would be great.
Yeah, as soon as you submit it, just shoot me an email, and then it'll get approved in like 2 days, I think. Like Michael probably can explain it. I want to say his got approved in like a day or two. So
Okay, I'll
Yep.
do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Happy holidays, everyone. Bye.
Happy holidays. I'll keep the chat open if anyone needs to copy anything.